history and spirituality and constitutional laws, and being a Moorish American, finding yourself in all history books. That's what this is about. So we got one more minute and then we going live. So then we got one more minute and we on. But I'm telling y'all, if Moor is going to miss being students and not going to really be, like I said, I hope, like I said, Islam, and I hope Allah puts it on your heart to really, really think about things and really, really put things in perspective and really want to know about who you are, especially teach your children some things from history, from spirituality, from law, from history, from finances, and we come together and build a nation. If not, then Moor's just in this for entertainment. And I know Moors are lost. I know that. I know Moors are lost, and I know Moors are getting the wrong understanding of things. So if we're not going to be honest and be students of something that's real, to let you know, to be a complete American, a citizen, whatever you want to say, but we know we must be matter-factual. It takes your nationality and your spirituality. And I hope y'all know about duality of words and what words mean in a court of law and real etymology, not no fake stuff people just promulgating to try to get you to side with their religious, connotated, dogmatic perspective of things. So we must be clear on things, man. So, as I said, let's get started with our Moorish American benediction, because I like to put things in the atmosphere. Empress, can you put me some water in my silver cup, if you don't mind? Man, you better go. All right, so let's dig. May the benison of Allah, and when I say Allah, because I'm a Moor and you a Moor, and in Moorish science, when we say Allah, we're talking about arm, leg, arm, head. So may Allah be upon thee and thine always, as we all should strive to be a credit to Allah. Make haste to bestow thy acts of love upon all our brothers and sisters, and we should do our best. We should do our best to shun all evil, all lies, all propaganda. We should remember to take suckle of the breast of knowledge, wisdom, fortitude, charity, love, and all standing, that we all might nourish the souls of all Moorish men, all Moorish women, all Moorish children. Let the truth be thy shield in the manifest battles of falsehood. We should understand that we never need to pick the lock to the gates of paradise by means of petty or criminal theft. For behold, the key to salvation already rests within our own hands. And even though a portion of our nature is weakness, instability, inconsistency, there is still the greater part of our nature that is divine. May Allah, may Buddha, whatever name you praise, may Yahweh, whatever you give it glory, whatever you want to call it, but I hope you magnifying yourself. May it protect thee, may it guide you, may it preserve you, and may it give you everlasting peace. Our Moorish American prayer: Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Noble Jew Ali. Islam. Now watch Moor start coming here a million times late. That's why I told y'all, I'm courting y'all. In a minute, I'm going to be gone. And everything is going to be emailed to every student individually. And I'm telling you, in a minute, I will be gone. Just like that. Just like a snap. When they say in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, boom. Watch. I'm giving our people real scholarship, real things to compare to. Things that's worth value, education. A real education, not no fake education. So let's dig, man. Let's dig. I'm gonna tell you one thing about history. I hope you got your pencils and your papers. Remember back in the day, picture pages, time to get your picture pages, time to get your papers and your pencils. You hear my mama? I'm telling you, man, we are education. What do y'all think this Moorish academy, this Moorish scholarship is all about? This ain't just no whole bunch of goofballs putting no fez on, walking around talking about some Islam, this is something. This ain't what this is about. We ain't no common people. We ain't no there's no regular slave mentality Negroes, and because we think we put a fez on, we somebody. We education. We are the doctors. We are the astrologers. We are the astronomers. We are the nature. We are the knowledge. We are the order. We are the shrine. I hope y'all know this. Science and everything has been connotated. Everything is two things in academia, in the thought process. You have the Western academia and Eastern academia. These are facts. I keep telling y'all, in a minute, I'm going to be gone. And if you don't want to be educated, I don't care who you are. If you think you know something and you come with that westernized academia, because I got the same degrees you get and even higher, but I have degrees in science. I'm telling you, most Negro, blacks, and colors that's been educated, I know where your education come from. And we can debunk everything that you think you know, especially about history. How I know? Because I done did it in a so-called African-American department on Grand Canyon University campus as a student when I was getting my degree. At the Scholars Roundtable with professors every day, every single day. I used to prove that pseudo-academia is false. So the only reason why Moor is going to be confused and our kids going to be confused, and I'm telling you in education, is that right now, as soon as February comes, they're getting ready to teach your babies about 1700 slavery. That's what they're going to teach your babies about. They ain't going to teach your babies about nothing. They ain't going to teach your babies about no history or nothing who they are, no real history. I guarantee you. How I know? Because I know most Negro, blacks, and color, no disrespect to them. Their degrees come from westernized academia. More, and I'm not referring no books to nobody to get true education. I teach true education. That's what I'm telling you. I'm a real school, no disrespect. What I'm doing on here, I'm courting people. We just had this conversation. We send our kids to all these other places, schools, and pay, and all these things. Well, I'm sending my kid to this. We'll send our schools to all these basketball camps, all this. But when it comes down to our education, when you see a real Moor that'll teach education, history, finance, and civics that have real degrees, we want to piggyback. We want to shake weight. We don't want to be part of nothing. And that's what Carter G. Woodson was saying. The miseducation of the Negro. We don't want to create our own. And I created our own. I have the same rights and the same things legally just like any other educational house. This is the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. I tell more, you will get it if you will be a student. I'm going live to try to show my brothers and sisters, man, I got real degrees. I used to do this on college campuses. My professor used to be like, man, it's you. Well, he was like, what are your people talking about? I'm telling you stuff, I done got degrees, and I say, well, everybody always want to ask me, and when I do lectures at college campuses, they be there, they pay, and I don't even ask my people to pay. I say, be a student. I'm a real school. I have real tax-exempt status. Everything is a tax-exempt status, part of your charitable contribution. That's why I be telling us what's important to us. If our education and our life and our academia is that important, why are you not a student? Because Moors be on here multiple times. See, I'm not nice. I don't have to be nice. My mom and my dad right here. I'm honorable. I'm noble. I'm just. I'm dedicated to everything in my life. I'm honorable. But when it comes down to this education, man, you can't piggyback. If you don't want to be educated, you don't want to teach your kids. They're just like somebody said they want to learn martial arts and a sensei like, hey, I need you to be a student. What you think you're just going to come on here every time and learn and you're not willing to be a student and not willing to dedicate to what this is about? That don't even make sense. No disrespect. And we'll send our kids to basketball camp. Or my kid going to go to the NBA. No, your kid's sorry in the damn nail. But we'll spend all that money on things. But when it comes to academia, especially us as older people, we're supposed to be teaching our children what we learned late, early. And if our education, our academia is very important to us, it shouldn't be nothing for us to be part of this. We can be building this worldwide. How? Just like universities have online schools. The Burning Bush Tabernacle should be teaching more science, which is my curriculum, across the border. We should be sharing it. That's how. But see, we want to look at what my dad always used to say, the pageantry. We want to look at somebody else that's already established and already big, like, well, they got this, but we have the same paperwork. When you put me legally next to anybody else, I'm the same thing. I'm the same thing. It takes you. You are the body. It takes us. It takes us to take this to the next platform. That's why I'm building this. That's what this is about. If we understand the laws, if we understand the legal laws and our nationality and our spirituality and what we can do legally, the house is already built. All we got to do is put our furniture in it. Matter of fact, the furniture in here too. All you got to do is move in. And that's what I be saying. And that's what I be saying when people don't, when we don't want to build and we say, what's the solutions? I'm giving you the solutions. The solution is academia. What we know, the education ain't teaching our kids right. Me and my mother and father was just sitting here talking about the conspiracy to destroy black boys by I forget his name. Fumunfu, I forget his name. And that stuff is valid today. And the brother worked 65 books back then. 65 books. And I asked Moor in academia and things, when I asked their children who they are, I said, man, come on. And you're not willing to teach your kids? You're not willing to be under the auspices? And when I ask your kids who they are, they don't know. But we say we Moors? That don't even make sense. And it be right in our face. But see, I know what we be looking for. We be looking for something outside the sky. Like they be saying, we want some clothes to fall under our head. We want some God. We want somebody to don't even look like us. And a prophet come in the voice of your people. Why we don't look at our own brother as righteousness and education? That's what we've been conditioned to not to do. We've been conditioned to look at ourselves as less than. We look at our own brother, instead of being part of the body. When one body, many parts, we want to try to replace them, and we want to try to ridicule them. Everybody have a past. Everybody has. Brother Malcolm had a past. Everybody have a past. But we must live our life to come where some academia and education right here. So what's the problem? See, we get on here and complain about everything. Oh, they ain't teaching this. Oh, they hiding. Ain't nothing here from us. Everything been recorded. I don't have nothing that's new. Ain't nothing I got new. Ain't nothing I got. They've been printing no 2020. Everything I got is old, ancient academia. I told y'all when I graduated, I told them this is pseudo academia. I stayed in the library. I stayed in the laboratory with my test tube and my beaker, and I blew stuff up. Why? Looking for the truth. I found the truth serum, and the truth has no size. Don't play with me, man. No disrespect to nobody. I just take this serious. I'm an artist and I'm serious about my music. See, I can have fun, but you know I'm damn manufactured, and you know I can be. This is what I'm saying, because I can be. Because this is what we should be about when we say, what's the key to salvation? Right here in your face. What's the key to nationality? Y'all know it's wrapped in Constitution. Y'all know that. Y'all know this. Law, this stuff is simple. That's why I call this elementary. This is elementary. This is elementary. Why? Because this is the elements. This is the basic science. I'm giving you the basic science that we learn in our houses as Moorish Americans, as American nationals, whatever you want to connotate it. This is what we teach where? In our homes. In our homes. We teach this in our homes. That's why it's called elementary. We taught this in our homes. Nobody's supposed to teach your baby something else. How's somebody going to teach your kids about you? Only thing they can tell you is things about you. But they can't tell you, and your brother done been in the fire. Nobody got to give me no chair, no table. I bring my own chair and a table, and sit right in the same place they can. Because when they look at my credentials, I'm elite. I'm initiated. I come without my feds being scarred up. I'm trying to tell y'all, if they sons of Muslim, somebody got to be the daddy. Y'all ain't listening to me. And I ain't coming from no prejudice place. I'm coming from love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. I'm coming with a divine message and a warning. Come on, man. My pendulum swing the left to the right. I control it. Y'all not understanding this science. So let's get into this teaching. Let's get into this education. Let's get into this more science. Let's get into this academia. Because I keep telling you, we have to remove the ego of our lower self, the hate. 2, we have to remove that westernized thought process. You must get a flush and feel, and you must reboot your hard drive. Because if you come in with some westernized thought process, with some Greek God, with some Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, and I showed you that all that is stolen legacy, something is definitely wrong with your hippocampus. Now let's dig. Because this is what we should be a part. This is school. This is more science. I'm giving you history right now. Right now we have a night school. This is history. I keep telling y'all the reason why we don't know nothing. I told y'all more is all over. They say the more than the north, sorry and lazy, because we only want to have a study like it's religious service. And this is what we're supposed to do every day. This is elementary. That's why Moors don't know nothing. I keep telling Moors, it's a higher level to this science. It's levels to this. It's levels to this academia. It's level to this more science. And the only person got to say is, I'm not initiated. I don't give a damn about a whole bunch of papers of how no temple was set up, and you got a whole bunch of pictures of Noble Drew Ali, and you got a whole bunch of pictures of how the temple. That don't teach nobody nothing. What a science, what a history, what a law, what a civics. Tell me about the Constitution. Tell me about some stuff that matter. Tell me how I can save myself. Tell me I ain't living right and save me. Save me. Save me. Come on, man. And where you be saved in law and history and your spirituality, that what makes you a complete fifth. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now, just like I'm finna show y'all how you've been lied to on everything. Just like when I tell Moors, you were all over. You gotta listen to the language. I'm finna show y'all one document about the free blacks of Israel Hill. When I tell y'all gotta start connecting dots. Remember I told y'all about the 18th dynasty and the Moorish Israelite history, and then I started showing y'all connecting the dots in history, but you're really not picking things up because our ears are not attuned or are not, how can I say, we don't got those bink binkers on. We not going ning 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 ning. Ning 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 ning. Ning 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 ning. You gotta have them bad boys on, man. And see, my ear is so attuned now. My channel is so tuned. I pick up on frequencies. And when you say something, and when that stuff out of line, my calculator's going off. Because I take notes on everything. I told y'all, get your pencils and your papers. So watch this. I'm finna read something to y'all. Free blacks of Israel Hill. Listen to this. Just to the west lies Israel Hill, settled in 1810 and 1811 by approximately 90 formerly enslaved persons who received freedom, and 350 acres from Judith Randolph under the will of her husband, Richard Randolph, cousin of Thomas Jefferson. 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 You see this Thomas Jefferson Quran? Watch when I read the introduction of what's on here. I'm finna give y'all a crash course history lesson and watch where it give homage to the Ottoman Empire and what we showed them. I'm gonna give y'all a crash course. Now watch this when I tell you they know who they were. And then I'm gonna show you other books that I got, my other Thomas Jefferson Quran. But listen to this. Okay, let me see. Cousin of Thomas Jefferson. The Israelites and other free African Americans. Other free African Americans. Other free African Americans. See, we got to get specific. So you got to start doing some research. Who are the free African Americans? Once you start doing the research and getting specific, you get in, your ears start tweaking. You gonna activate that for me, Empress?
I already did.
That's what I'm talking about. See, I love my queen. Y'all ain't listening to me. You hear what I said? These Israelites and other, listen. So they added, when I say words, when you got to start, if you a scientist and you understand words and you understand etymology and you understand about language, listen to what I'm telling you. These Israelites and other free African Americans. So take African off and take free off. Now watch this. And these Israelites and other Moorish Americans worked as farmers. Because if they say they were Israelites, all they saying is they was under, y'all know what? Come on, man. It's still monotheism. I'm telling y'all, research one of the biblical stories that were taken out the Bible of Anna, Seth, and Joseph. And then we'll have another conversation. And then when I tell you to research that 18th dynasty, that Moorish, that Israelite connection, we can start, we got to get out the dum-dum.
I can stop that.
Right? These Israelites, watch this, and other free African Americans worked as farmers, craft people, Potomacs, riverboatmen, which they like to connotate you and call you some Berber pirate. Farmers, they telling you this is us. Farmers, craft people. That means we work with our hands. Talk to me. A Potomacs, a riverboatman. Y'all hear me? Some labor alongside whites for equal wages and defended their rights in court. And did what? Defended their rights in court. Now watch this. Didn't I just tell y'all history before Abraham Lincoln was the president? What was he, Empress? What was Abraham Lincoln before he was a president? Abraham Lincoln? You know who? I said Abraham Lincoln. I said before Abraham Lincoln was the president, who did he defend in court?
The Moor.
Yes, so Abraham Lincoln was a what?
A judge.
No, he was a what? He was a lawyer. That's right. A lawyer. Y'all to see that Abraham Lincoln was a lawyer, and he defended the Moor in court. Because if you identify as black, Negro, color, you had no rights. You couldn't have no home. You couldn't have no property. You're black, bleepity, 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 bleep, bleep, bleep. Couldn't be married. So y'all not finna get no dollars from me. How many times I curse? None. Are y'all clear? If y'all walking with me, somebody say Islam. Somebody say Shalom Aleichem. Somebody say Assalamu Alaikum. Somebody say peace, Moorish man. Talk to me. We only 24 minutes in. Talk to me. If y'all rocking with me, come on. Or we can just stop right now, man. Islam. Come on. Y'all rocking with me? Somebody say something. So you can't deny the truth because the truth has no side. You can't deny history and science because you can research everything I'm telling you. This academia, you can't get mad at me. This is a clean glass. I told you, I ain't rocking with them dirty glasses. Everybody ain't my brother. You fooling me. It's only one law. It's only one more science. You fooling me, or you got a fez on that means something to me. No, it don't. You fooling me. You are fooling me. The family of the early settlers, Hercules, White, bought and sold real estate in Farmville and joined with white citizens to found the town's first Baptist church in 1836. Israel Hill remained a vigorous black community in the 20th century. Y'all ain't listening to me. Y'all are not listening to me. Now watch this. Watch this. One of my emperors, she loved this, and she asked me to do this. Most people, what are our people destroyed for? What they say, y'all? A lack of what?
Knowledge.
See, I got my background singers back here.
Because
but I got my Moorish empresses back here. Hosea 4:6. Now watch this. And just say yes or no. And just rock with me. Kumbaya. So the black slaves sing songs in Hebrew. Watch this. Kumbaya. Watch this. Don't get mad. Just say yes or no. And all you got to do is be like, yep. Many of us have learned and even sang Kumbaya at some point in our life. This is why I'm going to tell you I do things over and over because I know Moors are not getting it. Because we being miseducated. But most people aren't aware of origin of the song or the meaning of the words. When we were in elementary, what were we told in elementary? What were we told that elementary what Kumbaya meant? Watch. And be honest, y'all. Watch. And watch everybody say, and watch everybody be honest and tell the truth. If you heard what I'm saying, then you should know. You should teach people. But what did they tell us? And what our kids finna repeat? How I know? Because I do these lectures over and over in academia. I told y'all the conspiracy to destroy black boys per se, but I'm doing it over and destroy Moorish boys. When I do it in my own teaching, it's valid yesterday, today, and forevermore. Because our own scholars is not teaching our babies. So what did they teach y'all what Kumbaya meant in elementary? And what do you still think it means? Come on, somebody say it real fast. We can go. Y'all know it. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. What did you thought it meant? Type it real fast. Y'all know what y'all gonna say. Come on. Come on, y'all. Thank you, Empress. See, you're damn right. Come on. Right, now watch this. See, that's why I love honesty. And this is how we teach our babies when we honest or we say we don't know. But every Negro, black, and colored in school, our own teachers, they taught us that that B to the S. They taught us that B to the S. And they know dang well if they were the linguistic and they wanted to teach us something and give us some value and stand up in the midst of the belly of the beast, they would do so. And they couldn't be doubted wrong. Talk about they teach us some academia or their religious perspective because they can prove that through academia and through language. So let's deal with the science. Because I know about the theory. Theory get your butt locked up, but the science liberates you. How? DNA. Oh, watch this. Shining everybody. Yo, Kari did it. Kari didn't know I didn't. I wasn't even in town. Test my DNA. The DNA prove I didn't even do it. But they said I did it. Huh? The science liberates. Talk to me. I'm doing this to make my empress laugh because she had a long day. So I got to entertain her as well. I got you, boo boo. But we all thought that it meant come by here. And that's what a lot of us thought. But let's break this down. Let's break this down in Hebrew, Arabic, whatever the hell you want to break it down. When I tell you about language, if you decipher and you are linguistic, you don't get mad. You just deal with language, and you can decipher anything. If you got the wisdom and the books to decipher the language, when people talk about they some Egyptologists, and I show them that the YHWH was written in the hieroglyphs, and I show them they like how you decipher it, because I got their damn alphabet. That's how. Duh. I don't take no rocket scientist. I told y'all this is elementary. That's why I said I'll put my embers and I'll put my elementary students up against any Moor that think they know some Moorish history and some science. They don't. All they'll be talking about, well, the temple was set up like this, and in 1999 and in 1955, the Grand Sheik was this, and the Divine Grand. Man, nobody want to hear about all that crazy nonsense. Who cares about all that? So the Qum, the K-U-M or the Q-U-M in the Strong's lexicon is number 6965. Stand up and arise. Are y'all following this science? Follow this science. And now the ba, if we and we got to use education. It doesn't have any meaning along in Hebrew per se. But watch this. But the abbreviation for Abba is used as the abbreviation for Abba, which means father. I mean, I hope we do that. And people, we have to use education to do things. We have to use reason. The Yah in the Strong's lexicon 3050. This word is translated as what? What did it translate it? What is Yah in the Strong lexicon 3050 translated as? What did it translate it as? Watch this. If we don't know, just say we don't know, because it's gonna take you too fast to look it up. So just say we don't know, and watch how I'm gonna break this down for you and tell you what it really means. And we're gonna sing it. We're gonna sing it our way, and then I'm gonna ask you what sounds better off the tongue and to the ears, and what do it feel better singing. What does the Yah mean in the Strong's lexicon 3050? This is when people be talking about they know something, and I know, I heard you. You heard something. Your belief can be based on a belie. You belying everything. If we don't know, that Strong lexicon is the word is translated as Lord in scripture. We're referring to the God of Israel. So we were told that the song mean kumbaya, mean come by here. And I'm finna sing it. Come by here, my Lord. Come by here. Come by here, my Lord. Come by here. That sound bored. I'm finna go to sleep. Come by here, my Lord. Come by here and do what? Think about this nonsense. Come by here and do what? Come by here and do what? Give me some doubt? Tell me something? But I just broke down what that means. The lyrics, it seems to me, arise, Father God, and not no damn come by here. Arise, Father God. When we say stand up and arise. So let's sing it with the real words. Stand up and arise, my Lord. Stand up and arise. Stand up and arise, Father God. Stand up and arise. I'm talking about you. I can connect myself to everything because I'm the God, you the God, your kids the God. Come on, man. Y'all ain't listening to me. Y'all are not listening to me. Are y'all talking to me? This is a remnant of the language. When I showed y'all the ancient ones, well, what language we were teaching. Man, I showed y'all in the ancient, the chosen ones. I showed y'all yesterday or Sunday what they was teaching. The languages. I showed y'all. These were languages that were stripped. Right? Come on, Moors. Somebody talk to me. And you don't want to be a student? And somebody asking what book should you read? Everything. You should read everything. You should read everything systematically. You should be willing to be a student. Watch this. I'm going to read an introduction in Thomas Jefferson Quran. And my dad got the other Quran in there. When I showed you how they made treaties and they did all stuff. And then when they backed out on it, that's when they said from sea to Sinai She, from the wall of Tripoli. And I'm going to show you how they backed out when they stopped paying the Moors and they went to war. But you don't know. Watch this. I'm going to tell you all about Thomas Jefferson Quran, a part of this. And I hope your ears are attuned what I'm getting ready to say, because I'm not going to give all of it. I'm just going to give an introduction. Denise Spellberg has done a great thing here by recovering the spirit of the substance of Thomas Jefferson's vision of true religion and liberty. You know they all was inaugurated on the Quran. I hope y'all know that off top. But anyway, for Jefferson and many of his founding colleagues, the shift from toleration to liberty marked a profound change. Existing protection and, yes, sanctuary to those of any faith whatsoever, including those of faith, by focusing on Jeffersonians' understanding of Islam. Did you hear what I just said? So when these Moors be getting with all this goofy stuff, I'm like I said, I'm finna be gone in a minute. And the only reason why Moors gonna be confused because they're not students and it's their ego. Let's finish. Jeffersonians' understanding of Islam. Jefferson's understanding of Islam. Spellberg, focusing on Jeffersonians' understanding of Islam. They also tell a story in engaging fashion and show us the time. They show us that the past, while surely not perfect, still has much to teach us all these years distant in this groundbreaking book. But this what I teach in elementary, in Moorish academia, in scholarship. That's how I know Moors confused, because they don't want to be students. And that's okay, because we're going to be gone in a minute. Watch this. Spellberg explores how Americans' founding fathers intended religious tolerance as a key American ideal, not only for various Protestant groups, but also for future Muslim citizens. As her book explores how tolerant attitudes toward Catholic, Jews, and Muslims led key early American thinkers to consider religious freedom in the widest possible terms, it offers a crucial corrective to those who today resist the nation's inheritance blueprint of religious pluralism. In tracing the transatlantic development of the ideas, Spurberg has laid critical groundwork for the interested in European and American perceptions. Now listen, if European is they just said in European and American perceptions of Islam and religious diversity at the time of the foundings of the United States. Ali Asani, professor of the director of Prince Alwed bin Talal, Islamic Studies professor of Harvard University. Now watch this. Listen closely. When Moore just arguing over dumb stuff. And they ain't gonna tell you no real law, no real history. You just gonna play around. Watch this. Let me see if I can get to one of the. Babe, can you see if my other Thomas Jefferson Quran under there? But that's okay. But hold on. I want to find something for y'all. All right, here we go. I want to show y'all. No, I'm good. I got it right here. I want to show y'all. Listen to what I be saying. That's why when I said I put any of my elementary students up or my empresses with science and history, I know Moore don't know anything. No disrespect. Watch this. One rainy April morning in 2011, I requested Thomas Jefferson's Quran from the rare book room in the Library of Congress. When I tell Morse, nothing new under the sun. I have every document. I have everything that proves who you are. You are who you are in the Constitution. If you don't know the laws, you need to sit down and put your feds in your hand and stop perpetrating. That's what you need to do. Because if you don't know who you are, is it wrapped in the Constitution, and you steady going around begging somebody and asking somebody something like you finna sign something, you are playing. You are absolutely playing. Outside, tulips blaze in bright patches of red around the Capitol building. The flowers reminded me of their origins in the Ottoman Empire. Y'all hear what I'm reading? I told y'all, when school starts, I'm gonna be gone. I'm steady courting y'all. I'm trying to show y'all in history what things is all about. When people be saying words and not telling you the truth. Ain't nobody lied to you. Your own brother, your own so-called sheikh, your own so-called educator is lying to you. The history has been recorded. This is what I'm telling you. So we can play all we want to. Listen to what I just said again. I requested Thomas Jefferson Quran from the rare book room in the Library of Congress. And when I show you the other Thomas Jefferson Quran that my dad got in the room, when I show y'all all the treaties they went again with the Moors, they try to call them Berber pirates because they were coming on their land. And then when they created the Marines, and when they say from the War of the Tripoli, because that's when they backed out on it and they went to war and they stopped paying because we were allowing their ships to come in. I'm telling you. So outside, tulips blaze in bright patches of red around the Capitol building. The flowers reminded me of their origins. The flowers reminded me of their origins in the Ottoman Empire. So here they talking about some at the White House, and they talk about the flowers that's outside the White House of their origin. Origin mean where they came from. Are y'all listening to me? The Sultan. What Sultan? What Sultan you think had first sent them as a diplomatic gifts to the European rulers in the 16th century? And then your babies starting your babies off in 1700 about slavery. And you think you got some education for some degree. You got some degree in African American studies, and you get mad at me when I sit down and talk with you and I tell you your education is hogwash. Because I got the same degree that you have, and I stepped on academia and I told them who we were in history. So don't get mad at me because you've been taught wrong. And by the mid-17th, the trade in the buds of the plants had reached a frenzy pitch in the Netherlands. Just like in the Netherlands, they talk about the Moors, swarty pie or black Pete. When you think they mocking you, but they dress up in blackface. And they talk, and the so-called Catholic priest is Santa Claus. He dressed up like the damn Pope in Santa Claus clothing. Are y'all hearing me? And they try to say that the reason why he dressed up in blackface because he fell down a chimney. You got to be playing. You got to be lying. I told y'all we've been all over. We've been all over. We are the ancient martyrs of Britain. Y'all don't know. Oh, wait, where y'all think all the Moorish hair brooches and stuff come from? Where you think the slave ship of Jesus of Lambert come from? That's Sir Isaac Hawkins, and they put the Demi Moore head on because they killed so many Moors. It's so much they ain't tell you in history. The education is right here. That's why I said in a minute I'm gonna be gone. Jefferson would add them to his garden at Monticello in 1806. Jefferson would add what? These flowers that came from where? The Ottoman Empire. From where? Them Berber Moors. Just like in the 1599 Geneva Bible, I tell you, Ed Melanick, the who? The Blackamoor. Are y'all listening? And so it was that. Though the contact with the Muslims long ago, but then they want to write Muslims. So then we got to start tracing. We know Muslim and Muslim meant the same thing. But when we know in history, we got to teach the difference. They don't teach history before 1942. And I can show you that. I can prove that from the Smithsonian Museum. When I show y'all the documents of how the Smithsonian Museum said they ain't going to teach y'all about all the gigantic bones. How the Smithsonian Museum. I told you I'm a scholar. I ain't tooting my horn. All the damn pyramids and all that stuff is right in the Grand Canyons. The government got that stuff blocked off. I got pictures of all that stuff, man. That's why I be telling people, they like, oh, look at what I done found out. I'm like, that ain't nothing new. It's only new to the Negro, black, and color. It's only new to the uninitiated. Man, that's old. Academia, we know that stuff. That's why I be telling Morris, ain't no such thing as no Willie Lynch letter. I'm a scholar. If it was a real thing of a Willie Lynch letter, man, that'd be prophetic in scholarship. The language don't even match right. Don't get mad at me. Summon with nothing more than their request library card and the relevant. Man, I'm done. I'm done even talking about that. I'm done even talking about that. I'm done. I told y'all we're gonna be a students. Now watch this. I ain't even got into one part. You're gonna have to log on for the second part. I'm giving you all history. I'm gonna show you how you've been lied to. Listen clearly. I'm gonna show y'all something else too. First Africans in Virginia. What? First Africans in Virginia. I'm going to show y'all something. See, we're going to learn today. I'm going to show you history. You talk about your teacher told you something. Your teacher ain't told you nothing. Your teacher, only thing your teacher knows is what he been taught. This scholarship, First Africans in Virginia. It was on this date in 1619 that 20 Africans arrived at Hampton, Virginia. And you say you were a slave for 400 years. So you started doing the math. Damn. So if you arrived in Virginia, that's 400 years ago. Think about it. Africans arrived at Hampton, Virginia aboard a Dutch ship. They were the first Africans on record to be forcibly settled and involuntary labor in the North American British colonies. So if they were the first, who was there before them? So you got to start asking questions when you got scholarship. If they was forced, you telling me wasn't nobody here before them? Start asking questions. Think about it. From the North American British colonies. From the North American British colonies. When you start getting the map, you need to start looking at what the North American British colonies are, baby. You better start looking at what the North American British colony is all about. And you think somebody done brought your goofy butt on some slip, some 15, 100 quadrillion millions of miles away. And I just told you they done brought you here from North American British colonies. They just put you on the boat. They like Boblo Island. You came from Detroit to damn Flint on the boat. Come on, man. Don't get mad at me. Keep it 100. Africans came ashore at Point Comfort, present-day Fort Monroe, in Hampton, Virginia. President Barack Obama declared Fort Monroe a national monument in 2011, in part because he said that is where the first Africans came ashore in North America. You can go in Virginia and look and go there, and they got all these goddamn signs. The slave trade began in the 1400s, and what we know now as South America. Brazil was the first country in Americas to benefit from the so-called slave trade initiated by Portugal. When I talk about the Spanish Acquisition, y'all thinking it's something all about this. Y'all don't even know what the Spanish Acquisition was really all about. Slavery in the West moved up the South America coast through the Caribbean into what became Florida. When I tell y'all about Fort Negro, y'all don't even know what Fort Negro is all about. I just told y'all the British, I just told y'all the Moors there. If these were slaves, what slave got a flag? Y'all ain't listening to me. Y'all ain't listening to me. The Caribbean and what became Florida. Fort Negro. I told y'all we're going to synchronize. You're going to learn today with few records kept before the Dutch cargo docked in Virginia. I'm telling you, man. I tell y'all about Stephen Bonzo. He wrote the book Morocco as It Is. Stephen Bonzo was born in Baltimore, Maryland in 1865. He was educated at St. Paul's School in Concord, blah, 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 blah. He wrote about all this stuff. Bonzo was he was later a special correspondent of the New York Herald from 1885 to 1907, reporting the development of the military conflicts including Serbio-Bulgarian War, 1885, Macedonian Uprising. The what? The Macedonian Uprising. Moors don't even know what I'm talking about. The Macedonian Uprising in 1890, First Sino-Japan War in 1895, the Cuban Insurrection in 1897, Spanish-American War 1898, Chinese Relief Expedition in 1900, Samar Bentaga Mendino 1901, Venezuela Matis Rebellion, the blockage in 1903, the Russian-Japanese War in 1904 and 5. I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. Selected Works was Morocco as It Is in 1894. Huh? What we talking about? Don't get mad at me because your sheik don't know nothing. Y'all talk about y'all know some history. So now we're going to talk about the 1898 Wilmington Race Riot. See, I'm leading everything up to this history. Because y'all kids finna get this bull crap, this so-called black history. They're going to come home with that slavery stuff. They're going to come home with Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, but they ain't going to give you no real letters on Martin Luther King and what he was really saying and what was really going on back then. That's all they're going to give our kids. They ain't going to give us no real scholarship where the buck stops today right here. You have the choice right now to be part of something real. If not, it's a joke. If not, I'm giving you scholarship right now. If you want to be a part of something, you lying to your children. Go tell your kids that you lying to them. Go tell you when your kids actually is some real history, some scholarship, and you say no, you a lie. That's ego. That's the problem. The academia is the same. The conspiracy to destroy black boys and black girls, all that, and I'm calling Moors boys and girls, is the same today. And the only thing that's going to correct us is scholarship and law. So if we have a Moor that's going to teach scholarship and law, why we ain't promoting it? Why we ain't pushing this to the maximum capabilities? Because we have the key to salvation. Y'all better stop playing with me, man. Y'all better stop playing with me. All we do is complain like some niggas. I'm sorry, man. We got the key to salvation, this education, this scholarship right here, and all we're going to do is play. Oh, what should I be studying? What I'm teaching? I got a syllabus systematically. We should be sharing this with everybody. This is how we change it. This is how we do it with finances and education. It starts right here. The 1898 Wilmington Race Riot. Don't nobody even know what I'm talking about. Don't nobody even know what I'm talking about, the 1898 Wilmington Race Riot. I be talking to Moors about history. They don't know what the hell I be talking about. I'm like, how you don't know? You call yourself some sheik. You call yourself some scholar. You coming with that fake European, westernized, Negro-central propaganda beat to the S. Stop playing with me. When they talk about the constant voting marches, how they, the blacks, never enter into any election, complain a Democrat, and other than pristine spirit, a political partisan They were the most consistent voting machines ever invested with the right of suffrage. When I show y'all what suffrage is, when I'm going to show y'all America in black and white, this part too, when I'm going to show y'all what suffrage is, and I'm going to show y'all in the Bible how Samson, how the cutting the hair is suffrage, and how I showed y'all how Southern Belle, the Asiatic, no disrespect, the Albion woman cut the hair, and that's suffrage, and that's taking your right of vote. I'm going to show y'all. You just gotta be in history. You can't just be looking at figures that say something, because even our prophets said some stuff, but they weren't correct on it. We got to take it to the next level. Why? Because we in the flesh, baby. We can compare the old to the new. That's why. That's why. Negroes in Philadelphia. A Philadelphian told Alex de Tocqueville, I might be pronouncing it wrong, Tocqueville in 1831, that Negroes could not appear at the polls without being mistreated. And what becomes of the reign of the law? In this case, the French traveler asks, the law and nothing. So now we're going to go about the French. When I told you all about masonry and our degrees, that's why they only 32 and 33 degrees. Because when a European Italian came and ransacked the temples, they didn't understand the signs and symbols. Now let's finish. The Philadelphian replied, it is not supported by the public opinion. 6 years later, an English visitor asked why Negroes did not vote in Pennsylvania since no law specifically barred them. Just let them try, he was told. The Negro in Philadelphia, Turner, Tocqueville, and Beaumont in America. Black government unions, discontent in the Republican Party. What do you think discontent means? Perennial Republican candidate Daniel L. Russell had written to the State Executive Committee of the Republican Party of North Carolina that the Negroes of South are largely savages. When I tell you all about the doctrine of discovery, when Europeans can't talk about they discover something, they're going to take your land, you a damn raisin head. Y'all ain't listening to me. Don't get mad at me. But that the Negroes of the South are largely savages, and are no more fit to govern than are their brethren in Africa's swamps, or so many Mongolians dumbed down from pagan Asia. It was also recalled that Judge Russell, while servicing on the bench at Southport and prosecuting a black for larceny, had declared that all Negroes are naturally born thieves. They will steal 6 days a week and go to church Sunday. He ain't lying. If you talk about a Negro, he ain't lying. I told y'all, because a Negro will eat something till they kill him. Why? Because that's just what niggas do. They pray and shout their sins off and return to the bosom of their race, honor, and respected members. Yep, I agree with that crap. You go say some Hail Marys, you put your fez on like you honorable, and you a damn liar. Local blacks denounced Russell and noted that the bosses of the party here for 20 years or more led the average color voted around these noses with black candidates. James A. Lowry stated that even in their own black party, Republicans have elected white bosses to the positions. Do y'all hear that? Even in their respective black parties, the Republican, the black, they have elected white bosses to their positions. Do you hear that? And they have drawn their pay, while the Negro was taught by their bosses to hate those with whom they had been raised and lived with all their lives, greatly to their disadvantage. Do y'all hear that? Man, y'all ain't hearing that, man. Lowry declared that because the Negro had quietly submitted. And when I tell y'all about J. Edgar Hoover and his public education bill, research that. Research what J. Edgar Hoover educational bill. I told y'all this academia and what they said the Negro what they gonna do and what Negro and blacks gonna teach their kids. Nothing. How to work with somebody. Come home, complain, drink a beer. Same thing. Lowry declared that because the Negro had quietly submitted to the bossism, having somebody over you, having some God, having some overseer. In the past, it seemed to follow that they are called upon never to resist. In bondage, men have some protection, but none in politics. Men had only come here with their carpet bags, knapsacks, or whatever you call them, but now they were able to buy out New Hanover country. Are y'all hearing me? When y'all don't even know who you are is in the Constitution, when you get these goofball, uneducated Negroes, what y'all think our brother Marcus Garvey was doing? You think he was getting a whole bunch of Negroes that didn't know nothing? Marcus Garvey had educators, doctors, lawyers. That's what Du Bois was going against. Du Bois ain't want all the educated people to be under our brother Marcus Garvey, because he was going to teach them who they were. So that's why they created the boule, the bougie. Y'all ain't listening to me.
We're listening, y'all. We're listening.
Y'all is not listening. These men had come here by the goodwill, forbearance, and votes of Negroes had held on to the offices until they had come to believe they inherited them. The Black Republican group forms. In 1890, there was an organization of blacks, Young Men's Republican Club, with J.H. Weber as president. In 1895, the citizens of the First Ward formed a club in reaction to the fusionist politics so popular in the state's capital. They called themselves the Republican Afro League and promised to fight legislation and rally which would reduce their civil right. Here you go, Negroes, talking about some civil rights instead of the human rights. That's where you messed up, because right under human rights, the umbrella of civil rights fall under that. I hope y'all follow me, to mere quasi-citizenship. Y'all ain't following me. Research the Wilmington Messenger, July 23rd, 1890, February 9th, 1895, February 16th, 1895. I'm going to give you a reference. And white supremacy Republicans. In April 1895, New Hanover County Republicans formed a white man's Republican Party whose objects was to run the Negro out of office and out of local employment. Wilmington Messenger, April 14th, 1895. The Republican Party view of black voters in circa 1880s. Before a review of the white Wilmingtons organized a white government union prior to the 1898 conflict in the illuminating to see how white Republican leaders viewed their black supporters. This may reveal to the students why Europeans and why the white Wilmingtons no disrespect. So a need to form the organization and how black citizens who voted against the Republicans were viewed. In 1885, future President Warren G. Harding gave this assessment of black Ohio citizens who voted Democrat. Listen, this is what the president said. Warren G. Harding, and I quote, "Now the colored voter have the privilege of voting for whom and what they please, but just how they can display so much ingratitude. You hear this? As to vote against the true representatives of the party that provide itself their liberator." So he's trying to say that they're your liberator, they're your God. You ain't listening. It's difficult to understand. And the colored voter who will vote against the party that provided its savior. What savior? Jesus, blue-eyed. No disrespect. If he isn't ought to be damned. The Shadow of Bloomington Grove, Warren G. Harding and His Times, Francis Russell, McGraw-Hill, 1968, page 69. Y'all know who McGraw-Hill, don't y'all? All my brothers that call they scholars, aren't you? Y'all don't know who McGraw-Hill is? They write a lot of books. At the 1888 Republican National Convention, Ohio's delegation was headed by political boss Mark Hanna, future President William McKinley, and past Ohio Governor Joseph Fire Engine Joe Foraker, to illustrate how Republican carpetbaggers taught black voters how to use franchise responsibility and how convention delegates supported candidates. Foraker recalled that a great many colored delegates from the South, as their custom, had tickets to the convention which they desired to sell. They brought their ticket to our rooms at the hotel, and Mr. Hanna, in his presence of all of us, bought them. The Shadow of the Bloomington Grove, Warren G. Harding and His Times, Francis Russell McGraw-Hill, 1968, page 125. White government union, black government union. But this was a prevailing attitude amongst the white Republicans in North Carolina as well. They held the expectation that the black voters could be shepherders to those posed to vote for any candidate. So what they were telling you, they were like, you ain't finna vote for who you want, you gonna vote for us. But the white government union and the black government unions existed of a white union in Wilmington was the result of a racial polarization which led most, if not all, black citizens into the Republican Party, as shown elsewhere in history. Republican Party executive committee in Wilmington consisted of 14 blacks and 1 white member, and Republican Governor Daniel Russell declared that all black characteristics of the circa 1895 Republican Party in Wilmington And you got to remember that any black voter who showed any learning or a preference for conservative politics was either shunned by other blacks or threatened with bodily harm. The same way when you teach Negro, blacks, and colored. So I'm going to give y'all the bylaws with the white union. While the conservative white citizens had a white government union led by most recognizable names in Wilmington, a practical black government union existed in the form of Republican Party, and it was led by many prominent names as well. The Constitution and the bylaws of the white government union follows as a statement reflecting the political climate for that day created by the fusion of the Republican and the populist parties. As a historical document should be interpreted in that light. And that's what I'm going to give y'all in documents regarding the racial and political organization of the Republican Party in Wilmington in order to present an objective view of both sides of this conflict. Well, we got to tell all of it, baby. The Constitution and the bylaws of the white government union of 1898. Our state our state is the only community in the world with a majority of white voters where the offices selected to administer the government are the choices of Negroes. Ooh. And not of whites. You hear that? This condition has been brought about by an unfortunate division among the white people, and it is likely to continue until the division is removed and unity again prevails among them as it did prior to 1892. Ain't that something? And what Stevie Wonder say? Don't get mad at me. People ain't listen. In 1492, you fell up on the shores, educated by the Moors, educated by the Moors, educated by the Moors. I'm telling you, man, I like to have fun because it's in your face. The necessity for a closer look at this, you got to look at it. So log back on, man, and I'm going to jump in part 2 of the 100 Amazing Facts, and we done. Islam, log back on. Peace.